Okay, everybody, we're live again. Let me get this set up. I'm going to share a screen here. We're going to go right back into watching this. Hope you guys can hear it. Okay, everybody, we're live again. Let me get this set up. I'm going to share a screen here. We're going to.
Do you have audio?
Oh, shit. Yeah, hold on.
I will say I'm not hearing anything.
Country. And they knew if they played games, I was going to hit the hell out of them with tariffs and lots of other things. We have a lot of weapons, not just military weapons. I rebuilt our entire military, by the way. Our entire military is rebuilt. And this person that we have leading us, if you can call the word leading with quotes, he gave away $85 billion worth of brand new military equipment in Afghanistan. In my opinion, the lowest day in the history of our country. I think probably the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country was what happened, the way we pulled out of Afghanistan. We left people behind. We had 13 soldiers who I met the parents. They're devastated, killed. Nobody ever talks about, you would talk about them. I put them right at the top. 38 soldiers who are no arms, no legs, faces just wiped out. They're trying to live, trying to live. Nobody ever talks about them. They talk about 13 dead, absolutely. But they don't talk about 38 soldiers that have been wiped out. And then hundreds of people were also killed. Hundreds of people where this madman set off a bomb. Should have never left them. They should have been in Bagram. We should have kept Bagram. Bagram is 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. We gave it up. You know who's occupying Bagram right now? China. China. We gave the biggest Air Force base, one of the biggest runways, one of the most powerful runways, 8 foot thick of concrete, built when the dollar was very big, okay? Years ago. We gave it to the Chinese. It should have never happened. What we've done, I think that was the most embarrassing day. And I have to tell you, if that didn't happen, I don't know that Putin would have gone in. I think Putin watched that catastrophe and he said, hey, this is a great time to attack Ukraine.
You think it emboldened him?
I think so, yeah, I think so.
Let me ask you this. Right now, headlines everywhere, of course, you don't respect, but there are headlines out there that say, when you win your second term, that you are going to make the people that have come after you pay. Retribution and revenge.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this before you even respond to that. I want to play what if with you for a minute. What if when you win this election, you said, enough is enough. Too much is too much. This is a race to the bottom, and it stops here. It stops now. They've made a half a dozen or more major attempts to take you off the playing board, and you just said, it stops now. I am going to rise above this cycle of ugly. I'm not going to play this gotcha retribution game. It stops now. I'll forgive. I'll not ever forget, but I am not going to play this retribution game. I am going to put the American people first, not getting my pound of flesh first. You got to do what you got to do, but I'm going to put this country as the shining city on the hill. I am moving forward. I'm not playing the retribution game. It stops with me. It stops here. What if you took that approach?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Sometimes, I'm sure in certain moments, I wouldn't be. When you go through what I've been through, they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign. Remember, I announced it?
Right.
They did things that people don't even talk about. And I got rid of Comey, and I got rid of a lot of people. Thousands of people. At the VA, I cleaned it, 9,000 people. They were sadists. I got rid of. But what they've done is bad. With all of that being said, we have to unite the country, Phil. The country has to be united. This country is a mess.
Every situation needs a hero. What a great opportunity for you to stop this cycle, this vicious cycle of gotcha, gotcha back, gotcha, gotcha back. Every situation needs a hero. What a great opportunity to step up and say, you know what, it stops here, it stops with me.
I think you'll be impressed. We have to unite the country. We have to save the country. That's not really saving the country. There are people that did some bad things. I know who they are and all of that. But as an example, with Hillary Clinton, I'd mention her name. Everyone's screaming. Thousands and thousands. I've had We just had 107,000 people show up in New Jersey. You saw that. 25,000 people showed up in the South Bronx.
In the South Bronx.
But we had Wildwood, New Jersey, 107,000 people. It was a record. They've never had that. When I mention the name Hillary in the previous to the last election, they said, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. But I would be there, and I'm trying to almost quiet them down. They were going crazy. How would it be I win, and I lock Hillary Clinton up? The president's wife, the former president's wife, I locked her up. And how would it be if I took the Secretary of State, she was Secretary of State, and we threw her into a prison someplace? I think it was terrible. And yet now they're trying to do that with me. Think of it. I didn't want to do that. I could have done that pretty easily. She busted up her phones and she busted up her laptops, and what they did, and they put bleach bit. You know what bleach bit is? It's so expensive nobody uses it because it's an acid and it wipes everything out. Could have done it real easy. Don't forget, she disobeyed a subpoena from the United States Congress, and she broke up all this machinery, all this technology after she got the subpoena. Think of it. How would it look if I took a president of the United States wife and threw her into a prison? I hated it because I wanted to bring the country together, and I largely did. And I brought it together through success because it was the most successful economy in the history of our country. Okay. Now, the difference is they're trying to do it to me. And maybe you could feel differently about it, but I don't feel differently. Retribution is going to be through success. We're going to make it very successful. We have to bring the country together.
And you can do that. Because let me tell you, this revenge thing there's a lot of research, and Dr. James Kimmel at Yale has done this research and seen neurologically in the brain that there's an addiction to revenge, just like to opioid or whatever. And that even if people commit a crime and they get arrested for it, they see themselves as the victim and they want revenge against the person that arrested them. And then the person that arrested them gets hammered. So now that person says, okay, well, I'm not going to put up with that. So they go back after the criminal. Now the criminal has been victimized again. And so we get into this loop where we're addicted to it back and forth. It's got to stop. And we're better than this. We must be better than this. And you're big enough to do it. Every situation needs a hero. You can stop this. You say, well, no, I think it ends here. It ends with me.
I think you'll be proud of the job we do. And, the word revenge is a very strong word, but maybe we have revenge through success. But that's what I'd like to see. I want to see the country survive, because this country is not going to survive like this. And really, the expression, I think it's the greatest theme ever in politics, maybe, because it's the biggest movement. We want to make America great again, and that's what we have to do. And I think you'll be very proud of the job we do.
The Pope has a book out that he's written, and he says, we are all brothers and sisters, and there must be no resentment among us. For any war to truly end, forgiveness is necessary. Otherwise, what will follow is not justice, but revenge. And that's true even in the cultural wars that we're fighting here. I think you have so much to do, you don't have time to get even. You only have time to get right.
Well, revenge does take time. I will say that.
It does.
And sometimes revenge can be justified, Phil. I have to be honest. Sometimes it can.
But is the country better or worse for them going after you?
I think the country is really worse for what they've done. And I think you see that when you look at the poll numbers, when you see that almost $400 million has poured in since this horrible decision was made. That was a few days ago. Numbers that nobody's ever heard of in politics before. It's a great honor. The people of our country get it. They're very smart. Taken as a whole, I have to say, they're very smart. But it's been an honor being with you. It really has. And I think you'll be very proud of the job we do.
You have rallied people. I had people in my focus group the other night that said, I have not voted for Trump before. I have not been a Trump fan before, but I have donated to Trump because he has inspired me. I have donated to him, and I am voting for him now, and I have not before, but he has inspired me.
Actually, it's been a beautiful thing to watch. Thank you.
Mr. President, it's been an honor
Thank you
speaking
very
with you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That may have been the longest interview I've ever done. And you think Biden could do that interview? I don't think so. After about 2 questions, I think that would be the end of it. Anyway, this was, it's crazy. It's crazy. He wouldn't do it. We covered a lot of territory.
You think he's going to run?
I have said no for a year. He said something yesterday that's very interesting. He should not be president, and it doesn't matter who runs against him. When he said that, I said, ooh. You know that, right? Did you hear that statement?
Yeah.
He said it doesn't matter who runs against him. With all that being said, people say yes, he's going to just run.
I guess so. Are you going to tell me who your vice presidential choice is?
I can't yet, but we have some very good people. I'm going to do it in the convention. Come up during the convention. We'll do an interview.
I will.
Okay? This was an honor to be. Thank you, man.
All right.
There we go, and I hope the sound's a little better. I don't know why it was so low. I was getting feedback from everybody about that and saying that the volume was low, and I don't know why. I had it all the way up. Everything was all the way up, as loud as it could go. So I'm not sure what happened with that. So let's get up here, get everything settled now. That was an interesting show.
Yeah, for sure. I think Dr. Phil actually did the interview very well. I thought he was very fair and balanced, asked a lot of good questions. I'm actually quite surprised. I think he did pretty well.
Yeah, I think you did too. What do you guys think in chat? Everybody on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. Let us know what you guys thought of the interview. I think it was very good. He asked a lot of good questions, and at least Trump doesn't have to have note cards or an earpiece to talk, like that bumbling idiot that they were talking about earlier.
Yes, I know.
Billy Bob, that must have been it must have been on their part or me doing I was doing a screen share. So maybe it was going from them to me to you guys. And that's what made the volume go down because I had everything up. I had even put my mics up. I turned my volume up where my earpiece is going like crazy to try to give you guys. So it must have been just all that involved. And that's why it was so low. But I thank all you guys for tuning in for that. We thought it was only going to be an hour. And I think, what are we into now? We're almost an hour and 15 minutes in. And that was crazy. So, but let us know what you guys do because right now they're going into a.
Hopefully we could. Sorry to cut you
react.
off, Charlie. Hopefully we could get the volume issue sorted out for the debate that's coming up. When is that? The 27th?
27th, I think. Yeah.
No, because I know we plan on carrying that here, so hopefully we could get that sorted out. Everything's kind of goofy when you're doing a screen share, but unfortunately, that's the only way that we could figure out how to do something like that on here. But you know, we retained a lot of viewers across different platforms. I mean, we had a good amount on Wimkin. I had a good amount on my Twitter account. Hopefully, they're all still watching. I wasn't able to go up on Rumble for this. I'm on Rumble now, but wasn't able to for the full interview. So
Rumble unfortunately won't let us do 2 live feeds in a day.
Yeah.
If you already schedule your live feed, they don't let us in for a second one. And I use StreamYard now, and StreamYard you can go live any time of the day. You just have to make a new live feed. But if you try to stream to Rumble, they turn you down. So that's why I can do Wimpkin because we'll just make a new live stream up. Rumble sucks on that and won't let us into there. So, but to sum up the interview, I don't know how much you guys know, but he actually was just talking about mostly his family and some of the stuff that he's going to do as far as like the border and getting these illegal criminals the hell out of here. And what else, Brendan, do you think of because I was doing a lot of stuff at the same time. So
I was too, but I think what a lot of the interview was, in addition to what you said, of course, he asked him, you know, what about the media narrative that Trump is out for retribution, and Dr. Phil was talking about he talked to Trump about that a little bit. Said, wouldn't it be great to be the one to just end this? I forget what word he used, but he essentially said, end this circus that we've been living through for the last few years. And but yeah, a lot of it was, about the trial.
And he was talking about the war in Ukraine, about how he's going to stop
and the wars. Yeah,
and if he doesn't stop it, we could end up in World War III and nukes because of Russia and everything. And Dr. Phil kept asking him about that and how he's going to stop it. And he can only say so much as far as like military wise, because even though if he becomes president, there's still a thing that where he has to be careful to what he says. So,
and one thing I'll mention to people, I believe you could go back and view this interview if because we had problems with our audio. If you wanted to go back and actually watch it, I believe that you could rewatch it. I'm not familiar with this platform, but it's called Merit Plus. That's MERIT Plus. It's completely free. You should be able to go back in there and rewatch the interview if you have any desire to. But overall, I think it was a very, very good interview. I think Dr. Phil did some true journalism, what we need more of in this country. I think he was completely fair in his questioning. I think
there was no gotcha questions.
No, that's exactly right. He was doing what all journalists should be doing in this country, but we unfortunately don't have any of that really anymore. But overall, I think it was a great interview. I think it was great.
But all right, let me get this back going here, and we will get our show started. Now I'm not gonna put you guys through my monologue here. I'll skip ahead here once. I'll save that one for tomorrow night, and we'll just get into the show because we got a lot of stuff to get going to get talking about, and it moves a little faster than that, and then I will. But I am going to ask you guys again to go to our Rumble pages. Mine is Country Conservative. Brendan's is the Brendan Statler Show. Give us a thumbs up. Follow us. We need more followers on our pages to get our truth out to people. Yep. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing this all every day.
And follow us on Wimkin and Twitter. Those are our two other big platforms that we seem to be doing.
Now here is Brendan's all of Brendan's stuff. If you guys can see this here in a minute. I will leave us up here for a few minutes. Here's all Brendan's pages that you can go to and check them out and follow us on them. I know we've got Wimpkin, we've got Twitter, we got Rumble, and Facebook. We got all that on there.
Yeah, I'm not able to stream to Wimpkin right now, unfortunately, and I won't stream to Facebook.
Right.
So, but you can still follow me on there if you want to see my streams in particular. Go to and my videos in general. Rumble and Twitter are the only two that I post videos to in live streams. So follow me on both of those.
Now here's mine. And I've got on here, I've got my Rumble, my Wimpkin, my Twitter, and my YouTube pages. I don't know which one is which, if I got both of them on there. Well, that's Twitter. And I have two YouTube pages actually. And I think this one is the Conservative Viewpoint one. And then I have my Country Conservative 1776. That is on YouTube also. And I live stream to both of them so we can get a further reach out to people because it's so important now. And Trump was talking about that too on that show because of, and he's right. He said exactly what we've been saying on every show. If we don't win this election, we will lose this country. There Absolutely. Is no doubt in my mind. So we have to do something about it. And he did mention that. He mentioned about his family and said that Melania is taking it pretty well, he said. So, and that's good to know. And that Barron got accepted to colleges and stuff, and he's taking it fairly well also. And, the other kids are grown up. And Don Jr. does a good job of kicking people's asses all over Twitter. So, and Eric is no shame of himself. He holds his own. So
I would love to see Don Jr. run for president at some point. He would absolutely kill it.
Oh
He would
my.
absolutely kill it.
Yes, yes, yes. And so we're going to get into here. So we're going to start off this show tonight with Trump's convictions, not likely to help Democrats very much, if at all. Democrats may be feeling, somewhat giddy right now because of Trump being officially convicted as a felon. But time of this is going to be over here real soon. So according to a new analysis from Politico, and Politico is a straight up, they are not a conservative news agency.
We should call them by their real name, Bullshitico.
Bullshitico, exactly right. Now, their outlet editor, Jamie Detmer, began his analysis by noting that in 1960, then GOP presidential nominee Richard Nixon opted to potentially put the country through a constitutional crisis by challenging the election results in Illinois and Texas amid credible allegations of election fraud and ballot stuffing. Now, he did that because, as he told a journalist friend of his, Earl Mazzo, that our country cannot afford the agony of a constitutional crisis. He had successfully challenged the results. However, he would have defeated Democrat nominee John F. Kennedy by 2 electoral votes. And that's a wow. But Detmer noticed that Manhattan District Attorney, what the hell? Oh, okay, because he ignored Alvin Bragg, fat ass Bragg is what I call him.
Twinkies.
Ignored his predecessor's Cyrus Vance, his decision not to prosecute Trump. So use federal agencies like the FEC and then DOJ and not to pursue any charges because they couldn't find any charges. But you got all this bullshit going on, and so he did it anyway. So now this is what we got to deal with for now.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing, but it's not surprising. I mean, you just see what a complete circus this whole I don't even know what you call it, but everything we've seen, just how much of a circus this whole process has been. Nothing surprised me with this. You're right; they can't find a crime, and that's what this whole process. And it's not just limited to the conviction case that we just saw, the one in New York with Juan Marchand, who just happens to be profiting off the Democrats like Biden, along with his daughter. But you're seeing this in other cases, how they don't really lay out a crime that Trump supposedly committed. It's just they're indicting him and saying that he did this, but there's no clear charge. There's no clear law that he broke. They don't actually lay out a charge like you have in every other case that's ever been prosecuted in the United States, really. I mean, it is a circus, but you know what? I'm actually thrilled that this is going on in a way, because this is what we needed to wake people up. That's what we have to remember. But we had to wake people up. Stuff has to get really bad before we could start to wake people up, and we could reverse and go in the opposite direction and take the nation back. I mean, that's what has to happen. Stuff like this was necessary.
Most definitely. And we got the American Rebellion in the house. Gary, you guys got to check out his show, The American Rebellion. Awesome show. Does a great job. And
absolutely. I missed today, Gary. I'm sorry. I missed today.
Well, I didn't put my Facebook down because you guys won't believe it. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you go to Charlie Brown, and you will see my country conservative logo. Not this pretty face that you see every day, but it is under Charlie Brown. You should be able to find it under there. I can't never find the link for my Facebook page. So
should we play the Peanuts theme?
No, you get in trouble for that. I'm not even allowed to do that. I did that once, and I got a copyright violation on YouTube for that shit.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh yeah, believe that. Well, you know what? Trump did not have a chance in New York because there was no evidence, the corrupt jury, the corrupt judge, corrupt DA, and this is where we end up today. But now we get into Judge Aileen Cannon. the judge that follows the law, and the corrupt Democrats and liberals cannot stand it. Now she got where's it at?
Come on,
Oh,
Biden,
yeah.
read the teleprompter.
Oh yeah, no kidding. But she's a judge in charge of Trump's document case, rips up court schedule in Mar-a-Lago case in ways that benefit Trump. And of course, this comes from CNN. Now, I purposely left out their name just because they're idiots. And it's the station, I wanted you guys to think about it for a second, but there's too much going on today. So CNN doesn't like a real judge that follows the law, and it comes to the court hearing. So I have a video, guys, for you guys to watch about 27 seconds. So we're going to take a look at this and see what CNN has to say about this. Take a look at this.
The Florida judge overseeing Donald Trump's classified documents case is once again delaying the proceedings. Today, Judge Aileen Cannon released a new schedule which adds a hearing on a gag order request from prosecutors. A number of other hearings are also delayed, including one announced yesterday examining whether special counsel Jack Smith has the authority to prosecute Trump. And in a rare move, Judge Cannon will allow political partisans and constitutional scholars not otherwise involved in the case to take part in the arguments. Keep in mind, there is still no start date for the trial, nearly a year after Trump's indictment. Joining us now is former Miami-Dade County Court Judge Jeff Swartz. Judge, thanks for being with us. And let's start with this new court schedule. The gag order hearing will now take place in late June. And then after that's over, Judge Cannon will hold a hearing on whether special counsel Jack Smith can continue with this case. Why do you think she's decided to reshuffle the schedule and hear the gag order first?
I can come up with no other reason than she is purposely avoiding ruling on certain matters and doing the best she can to delay the trial of this cause as long as she possibly can. I just can't come up with a reason. If she is that ignorant of how to handle these matters, then she doesn't belong on the bench. If she's doing it because she's lazy, then she doesn't belong on the bench.
You listen to this idiot run his mouth. She follows the law, and these people can't handle it. And that's pretty sad when you don't like a judge that actually follows the law and hears all arguments, not just one that makes up charges, falsifying evidence, and stuff like that. Like the New York cases, the Georgia cases, and everything like that. The Democrats can't control her, and they don't like it. So they make up lies and bullshit as usual. So they have to attack her because she follows the law and she believes in law and order.
Yeah. Would you expect anything different from the communist news network? That's really what CNN stands for. It's not cable news network. It's a communist news network. We used to think it was Clinton News Network, but I guess that's kind of the same thing when you think about it. But yeah, they don't like a judge or really anybody that treats President Trump or really even his supporters fairly. I mean, these people truly hate us. It's not that they hate Donald Trump. They don't even hate people like Peter Navarro, that's in prison, or Steve Bannon, who has to report to prison July 1st, we're finding out today.
Yeah.
They hate us. They're just the ones that are in the way. Donald Trump's the one that's in the way. So, that's why they're so unhinged, because these people are not stupid people. We want to dismiss these people as they're crazy, they're stupid, whatever. These are actually really smart people, even working at CNN. They, believe it or not, they are. They hate everything we stand for. They hate America. They're communist, Marxist, fascist that want to see the country fall. They're so unhinged over stuff like this because they see the direction everything is going. They hate the fact that no matter what they do against Donald Trump, he just gets even more popular. They thought for sure that indicting him was going to stop him. Didn't work. They thought for sure that that convicting him, and that now he has the title of convicted felon, that was going to make people run away from him. They never thought that this was possible. They never thought this was possible, because I'll go through this real quick. This has been my theory for a long time with this entire process. They were going to start by indicting him. Now, remember, this is before the primaries. Or this was leading up to the primaries. They thought for sure that the MAGA base was going to move towards Ron DeSantis. They thought for sure that was going to happen because I'm telling you, DeSantis may have done some good stuff in Florida. I agree, but I don't trust the guy. I think he's a neocon liberal, part of the Bush Cheney apparatus like Nikki Haley was. That's just my opinion. I might get some disagreements in the comments of Wimpkin, but that's just what I think. I think they were counting on having everybody move towards DeSantis and Trump will go away and it would just be business as usual. They would retain power forever. They never thought we would be sitting here just months out from the election and Donald Trump would be this popular. They did not think that this would happen. They are freaked out now. And it is great to see.
Yeah, I like some of the comments on Wimpkin with being Clinton News Network to CNN. Yeah, I like that one. And then they were talking about Comcast being Call Me Broadcasting. I agree with all of those guys.
Absolutely.
And Billy Bob thinks DeSantis is a Call Me too.
Okay, good. We're on the same page.
Only a couple of you.
I think he's been an actor this whole time. I think that's why he put these because he does have good policies in Florida. He does. My thing on him is it all an act? Is it all an act for him to attract Trump's base away from him? That's what I think the whole goal of this was, because you have people working in your campaign like Karl Rove and Jeb Bush. I mean,
oh God,
those are the last people. If you're claiming to be a MAGA type, a Donald Trump like Republican, those are the last people you want to be linked up with. But that's who DeSantis was linked up with.
Jeff makes a nice comment. I will vote for whoever has the most indictments. That's who the government is the most afraid of.
Yes,
you're damn right. That's for sure.
That's right. I can't wait to vote for the first outlaw president or first felon president. We need to. I saw you were wearing one yesterday, Charlie. I need to get a shirt that says I'm voting for the felon. I don't have one now, so that's why I put it on my. That's why I put it on my thing at the end.
I don't usually wear hats, but I ordered me a hat that says that too. I'm going to vote for the felon. I had my shirt on yesterday. If you guys were on here watching the show, I got one coming, but I'm gonna wear it covered up this pretty old bald head of mine here, and wear it for the show. So, American Rebellion said he was running for president the minute he started running for governor.
Yeah, he just started his term. I'm telling you, I really think the guy was a plant, and the fact that he was warned initially about the Mar-a-Lago raid, that they were going to use they were authorized to use lethal force. I understand that DeSantis is the governor of Florida, but why would they? I mean, maybe it's standard to notify the governor for something like that. I don't know. But why didn't DeSantis pass that message along? You know what I mean? Like something about DeSantis just really rubs me the wrong way. I used to be a big fan of the guy. I don't trust him whatsoever. That's just my opinion. I don't trust him.
Violet had made a good point here. How do you pick a running mate when everyone you cross paths in politics have tried to burn you? It's exactly right, especially doing debates and stuff when you're trying to win this nominee, and they're all running their mouths. They're all telling how bad Trump was and all that stuff. So how do you pick him? So you got to find an outcome, and I don't know how he's going to do this.
I think he's going to make a good pick this time. He's definitely not going to pick anybody that was running against him. Like DeSantis, not going to happen. As much as I like him, Vivek Ramaswamy, not going to happen.
Who was the list that they just put out today?
I
know Byron Donald was on there.
JD Vance,
Marco Rubio,
which do not pick Rubio. Rubio's a freaking slime ball. I would not pick a guy. I wouldn't pick Tim Scott. Tim Scott's too weak. I like JD Vance and I like Byron Donalds, but I think they're more valuable where they are now. So I wouldn't pick either of those two just for that reason. I think he's got to pick a true outsider, someone like a Tulsi Gabbard potentially, who I would like to see personally. And I've mentioned this before, but I don't know if it would happen. This is just who I would like to see, and I'll explain why after. I'd love to see him pick Tucker Carlson, because think about this for a second. Tucker Carlson is probably the biggest voice in conservative media right now, right? Despite the fact he's on his own platform now. Imagine if Tucker Carlson continued to do his show on his platform where he's completely unchained. He could do and say what he wants now. He's not chained by Fox anymore. And he could report on stuff that he's actually seeing. Like, look, we just declassified the JFK files. We just declassified the 9/11 files. Here's this. I mean, Tucker could, could provide some really great insight. And another reason Tucker Carlson would be a good one to pick too. Tucker Carlson is incredibly popular with independent voters. You know, the voters in the middle. I think a lot of people that are still in the middle would come to Trump's side in a heartbeat if Tucker Carlson was on ticket. I think it would be I think it would be a very smart move for Trump. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I think all this other stuff, you know, we're seeing these potential names. I think they're all misdirection plays. I think either way, we're all going to be surprised. I don't think it's going to be anybody that anybody's really thinking of.
Well, the American Rebel, Gary, he made a good point. Pick somebody that's not a politician, just like
Absolutely.
him. That would be the best part. But Tammy made a good point too. I do like Ben Carson.
I like Ben Carson. I do.
I think he's a good point. I don't know if he would do that or not, but he does a lot of other stuff.
The only thing I would say about Ben Carson, the only reason I'd be kind of, about him being VP, I like Ben Carson. I think he's a great man. I do. But given the political climate we're in right now, God forbid if something were to ever happen to President Trump while he's in office, I don't know if Ben Carson is the kind of person that has that fire that we need right now, because whether people want to admit it or not,
he's really laid back.
He is. I mean, he might have that side to him. I don't know. I haven't seen anything from him that would indicate that to me. And under normal circumstances, sure, I would vote for Ben Carson. But just where we're at right now, we need somebody that's a fire breather. And I don't know if Ben Carson's really that person. I don't think he's a bad guy by any means. I don't know if it's the same thing with Tim Scott, really. The reason I wouldn't pick Tim Scott, I don't think Tim Scott has that fire breather mentality we need, because we need somebody like that as VP. Because like I said, God forbid if something happens to Trump when he's in office and he can no longer serve. I mean, you need to have a VP that can do the same thing that he's doing essentially. I mean, that's just how it is. That's why I'm like, I don't know about Ben Carson at this point in time.
Okay, let me get here. I'm gonna try to find this and discuss this stuff. But I want to get this. I didn't put this into the show earlier, but I don't know if you guys saw this or not. But that was the video on that one. Jen Psaki gets official warning from the House Foreign Affairs Committee chairman to comply or face compulsory process. Now, I think this is hilarious because I think Jen Psaki is a great liar, and
she's a professional.
Oh, she is. So I got to read this to you because, like I said, I did not get this in the show. But former White House press secretary Jen Psaki may be facing a congressional subpoena in her future, very near future. Representative Michael McCall wrote on June 5th, which was what, yesterday?
Yes.
And wrote a letter to Psaki's lawyer, Peppermint Patty, by the way. She was former press secretary for them, but failed to adequately respond to their letters about this, to the Foreign Affairs Committee, about the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan Joe Biden caused. And this is what this is all about. So she has until, let's see, I think a week to accept or deny an interview with the Foreign Aid Committee, or they're going to officially get her. I don't know how they said it, but she failed to respond to my letter, his letters on May 21st, 2024, requesting that she appear in front of the committee for a transcribed interview relating to the investigation to the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. And this is everything that he was telling her attorneys, that she has to get up here or they're going to officially subpoena her and get her ass up here about talking about this. We haven't even heard about the Afghanistan withdrawal from any of these Republicans until now.
Yeah.
Why'd they wait so long?
And I don't have any faith that anything's going to happen anyway. I mean, honestly, why would we? Why would we? You know,
they can still do stuff after Trump is in office. Even better when Trump's in office. So,
oh yeah, for sure. But when it comes to House Republicans, and I think I've talked about this before, this is the one thing that really bothers me with House Republicans is not the fact they don't do anything, but it's the fact this has been the default response for them. Is okay. We'll do this when President Trump gets back in office. We'll do this when President Trump gets back in office. President Trump doesn't have enough bullshit he's got to deal with as soon as he gets into the White House. The House Republicans were elected now. They need to do work now instead of kicking the can down the road and waiting for Trump to get back in office, because
Republicans can't do anything now. They can't do anything. They got their hands tied with the Democrats running the Senate. Everything that did you see where they just put out? Well, you said it the other day when they put out those things about Jim Biden and Hunter.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
You think the DOJ is going to do anything about that?
No. And I agree with what you're saying, but it's still, I hate using this term, but it's the optics of it. I mean, you know, you should at least show that you have some spine. I mean, you know, and they haven't. Like I said, knowing it would fail every single time, I would file articles of impeachment against Joe Biden every single day, just to show we have some spine. I mean, we know that the stuff with Hunter Biden and Jim Biden isn't going to go anywhere, but still do it. We know impeachment's not going to go anywhere with Biden because the Democrats control the Senate. Still do it. You know. But one thing I did find out they could do, and everybody should be blowing up Mike Johnson's phone.
I saw that.
I put this out on Facebook and Twitter. I'll share this with you guys real quick. Mike Johnson, as Speaker of the House, has the authority to tell the Sergeant of Arms there to arrest Merrick Garland for not complying with the congressional subpoena. They should absolutely do this because they already have Peter Navarro in jail for this crime. They just said that Steve Bannon has to report to prison by July 1st, essentially taking one of the biggest voices in conservative media off the playing field until just days before the election. Coincidence, I'm sure. But Mike Johnson has the authority to do this. Merrick Garland should be going to prison. He should be arrested just like Bannon and Navarro. He committed the same quote unquote crime. His was even worse, actually, because Navarro and Bannon had executive privilege through President Trump. So I want to leave everybody with this number. Be sure to call this number tomorrow and just flood the phone line. That is 202-225-2777. That is 202-225-2777. That is the office for Speaker Mike Johnson. Be sure to call that number and tell him, have the Sergeant of Arms arrest Merrick Garland for not complying with the congressional subpoena, and tell him why, because Navarro's in prison for it and Bannon's going to be in prison for it.
You see the number right there scrolling on your screen.
This is absolutely necessary. We have to have action. We have to have action. And the only way we're going to get action is if we put some serious pressure on these people. We have to do it. We have to do it. I hope everybody watching this, I understand we're a small platform, but I hope everybody watching this floods the phone line tomorrow, calls this number, and demand that Speaker Johnson does this. We have to hold these people's feet to the fire.
Now we're going to get into the Wall Street Journal's article about Joe Biden slipping. If you guys saw that or not, I'm not sure. But people on the left are going nuts because of this article. President Joe Biden's age and mental fitness are increasingly taking their toll on his effectiveness, according to the new report that focuses on his behavior behind closed doors. Now, the Wall Street Journal, citing information from 45 sources on Wednesday, described Joe Biden as a commander-in-chief whose command of issues, history, and policy insights is declining. Now, I want you to watch this video. It's only 59 seconds long of Biden's mentally slipping. So you guys take a look at this.
Earlier this week, U.S. President Joe Biden insisted to Time magazine that his age and mental well-being were not an issue. But a new article in the Wall Street Journal suggesting otherwise. It claims Biden is showing signs of slipping behind closed doors. The lengthy piece includes several concerning anecdotes from interviews with 45 Democratic and Republican lawmakers and staffers. Some claim the 81-year-old closes his eyes for long periods of time during meetings and relies on cheat sheets and note cards to remember key talking points. Others say the president occasionally forgets key details and speaks so quietly that it can barely be heard. White House officials are dismissing the reports, noting that a doctor recently declared Biden to be fit for duty. Biden is already the oldest president in U.S. history. If he's reelected, he would be 86 years old by the end of a second term.
Now, of course, we've all seen it. Every day we watch him on TV. Just him walking is bad enough. Whenever we see him, when falling down, mumbling words, everything. But now the White House is freaking out and trying to walk it back like they've done so well in the past 3.5, almost 4 years that this idiot's been in the White House. Now I want you to watch this video. It's about the same time limit of the White House trying to walk this back. Unreal.
All the more so because of a devastating Wall Street Journal piece that dropped just before he got on Air Force One. Behind closed doors, Biden shows signs of slipping. Participants in meetings said the 81-year-old president performed poorly at times. The White House said Biden is sharp and his critics are playing partisan politics.
Anyone who's watched Biden over the last 3 years can tell that he's stiffened, he's slower, that he's not as sharp. And the White House has said forever, behind the scenes, he's smooth as a Swiss watch.
And maybe this is why the story works, is because it confirms what so many people see every day, right? We see him stumble. We see him clearly have senior moments. We see him clearly look lost when he's walking on and off stage or trying to remember leaders' names or confusing events, or whether he was the vice president during the pandemic or during the recession, and then his physical issues as well.
See, they walk back everything that this man has done throughout the years. I don't know why he's a corrupt piece of shit, and he should not even be in office, and he sure to hell shouldn't have control of the nuclear button. To me, I think that they're getting ready to throw this man under the bus. And I've said it before, we've said it for months now, that he's not going to be the Democratic nominee.
I don't think he's going to be either, especially when you're seeing an outlet like News Nation saying this, because News Nation is not a conservative outlet. This is where Chris Cuomo works now. For those of you that don't know, but yeah, we don't need to hear the audio tapes from the Hurd deposition, do we, Charlie?
No, we know the truth. We know the fact. We know exactly what's going on. So. Because I don't think they know who they want to replace him yet, though. I don't think they're set on somebody yet. So they're trying to find somebody, and then they're just going to throw the dumb son of a bitch under the bus.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with the same prediction I've had for a little over a year now. I'm still going with Gavin Newsom is who they're gonna, because I
Why
really
else would he
don't.
be at the White House when
Thank you.
Biden's not there?
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point I've made many times. And I don't think they're going to pick Michelle Obama. I don't, because the Obamas are not liked at all anymore. No matter how much the media wants to pretend that the Obamas are revered. I mean, even by Democrats, nobody likes the Obamas. Nobody's going to vote for an Obama ever again. That I can promise you. And these people know this. They're not gonna pick Michelle Obama. I think that the only other one that they have that they could possibly run
Big Mike out of the
is
closet.
is Gavin Newsom. I don't see any other person they could really replace him with. But either way, they're gonna lose tremendously. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who they put up.
With Big Bill saying they're going to bring Big Mike out of the closet.
Big Mike.
But Violet made a good point here, and I didn't get the videos I wanted to print out, but she says, "What the hell's going on in France?" And that's exactly right. I've watched a couple of these videos today, and when I found out about when Brendan let me know about the Dr. Phil deal, I was working on trying to get it set up and stuff. And I watched the two videos. I watched one from CNN and MSNBC, same video, and it showed him when he was bending down. If you guys saw that, he's like he was going to take a shit, but or a seat, whichever one. But on MSNBC and all them, it showed him having a folder in his hand. And it showed him putting it down to his feet. Now, all the other videos I saw, there was no folder in his hand. So I don't know what to believe. I don't know if somebody altered one of the things and took the folder out, or if he was actually losing his damn mind. I don't know what to think with these things. What do you guys think? In chat, do you think he was losing it or what? Because it was like embarrassing. And then why do you go to France to talk about D-Day and then talk about Ukraine?
That's what I was just going to say. That was the worst thing. And this was another thing that pissed me off today, too. I made the mistake of turning on Fox News today. I forget whose show this was during, but they're sitting there with Anthony Blinken, I believe it was. So, of course, commemorating D-Day, right? They're at the cemetery and everything. You know, you see all the American flags in the background and on the graves and all that stuff. And what are they talking about? They're talking about the Russia-Ukraine war. Shame on Blinken. Shame on Fox News, a.k.a. TV for stupid people. That is the most disgraceful thing I think I saw all day was those two things. Biden talking about Russia and Ukraine when we're commemorating D-Day, and stupid-ass Fox News doing it as well. Absolutely disgraceful.
And that's what I just brought up this article saying, Biden commemorates D-Day at Normandy, calling on allies to repeal tyrant Putin in Ukraine. Why the hell? That wasn't about this day. Why do you have to embarrass us even more by doing that shit?
Yeah. Yeah, and I love how they call Putin a tyrant. And I'm not pro-Putin by any means, so don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But I don't think Putin is the one that completely suspended elections to retain power and was closing down churches because of said war. I'm pretty sure that was Volodymyr Zelensky. Is that right, Charlie? Am I recollecting that correctly?
I think you're recollecting correctly.
Because I believe Zelensky's term was supposed to end a little over a week ago, maybe close to 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
and
yeah, he's done now.
He's still, and he's still in power. What would you call that? You would call that a dictator, wouldn't you?
Oh, that is most definitely right. Now, if anybody can answer me this too, why did Jill Biden whisk Joe Biden away from when they were still doing stuff on the stage? Did you guys see that? She took him right off the stage, like immediately. And the son of a bitch can't even walk. Did you see that? Did you see how stiff-legged he was? He was like,
Yeah.
My old ass is crippled up, and I can walk better than that son of a bitch. And he shouldn't even be there. I don't know if any of you guys heard anything else. I didn't hear anything about what happened, why she, and you probably won't figure it out. But what the hell did they left the ceremony, and they cameraed them? You know, they followed them with a camera by themselves walking down the sidewalk. I don't know. Hopefully somebody will give us a clue on what went on yesterday or today. Sorry, tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we see examples of this every day, just how weak and decrepit this guy is. I mean, I don't know how somebody, honestly, how somebody looks at this guy and says, "Oh yeah, that's the guy I want running the country for another 4 years." I mean,
Yeah,
are you kidding me? Like,
yeah, I don't know how anybody could see that.
If I was one of those people that just absolutely hated Trump, would not vote for him. If I was one of those people, I would sit out this election. I mean, for real. I mean, how anybody can vote for Biden, no matter how strong your hatred is for Trump.
Well, that's what they did.
I mean, my God. I mean, I know that's the whole thing. Nobody actually likes Joe Biden. Nobody.
I still don't believe, though, 81 million people voted for him.
No, I don't. I believe that Biden got around 45 million in the real numbers, if I'm being honest, and Trump probably got close to 100 million. That's what I think the real numbers are. But anyway, nobody actually supports Biden himself. If you ask a dumbass Biden voter, just give me one thing that you like about Biden that he's done, they'll say he's not Donald Trump. That's it.
Excuse. Yeah. John,
that's it. They're just voting against Trump. But I'm telling you what, a lot of people are starting to realize, after all this bullshit we've been through, they may not like Trump's personality or how he handled some things, but they remember what life was like under Trump, and they're starting to realize, Trump wasn't all that bad. Yeah. Matter of fact, it was pretty damn good.
John made a good point that the American government installing Zelensky into the Ukraine to launder money.
That's exactly what it is, and they want this. They want this war. Yeah, and that's another reason why they want this war to continue, because, like I mentioned before, Ukraine has zero chance at winning this war, zero chance. But if the war ends and
they're out of money,
the money laundering would be over. It would be over. That's why they haven't had peace talks or any of this other stuff. They haven't called for a ceasefire like they do between Israel and Hamas, because then their piggy bank's gone. I mean, that's why they're doing this. Ukraine has zero chance of winning this war, but that's why they keep pumping money into it, so the war will continue. The war will continue. They can keep laundering money. That is the whole purpose. And all it's doing is getting Ukrainian citizens killed. That's all it's doing.
Yep. Now, Rick made a good thing. Whoever they replace Joe Biden with will have to be manipulated by Obama and Soros.
Absolutely, it would have to be, and probably
you have to be a yes man.
Yeah, it would be the Clintons, the Obamas, and Soros. It would be the three for sure.
Madeline Davis made a comment. She said they got him off stage because he stunk.
He needed a diaper change.
Yeah. Pedo. We got around Joe Pedo and Poopy Pants. Yes, that's exactly right. Oh, I live near Antrim County, Michigan, with the Dominion machines. Oh, did you see that part? Not to cut myself off, but they're putting a thing for Delaware County and Pennsylvania to immediately cease and desist all Dominion voting machines, all the voting machines in there, and go back to paper ballots. I'm hoping it goes through.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit. I didn't hear that.
I just heard that earlier today. Now everybody knows it. Huh?
Can I go? Well, this is kind of related. Can I go through this article real quick that I got while we were watching the interview?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
This is from Just the News. Like I said, this came on as we were live, so I didn't get much chance to look into it. But from Just the News, New Jersey congressional primary results delayed after 1,900 mail ballots unsealed prematurely.
Oh, you're
That
kidding
is
me.
that is the headline.
Holy
What
shit.
that's all about. Man.
Is that still ongoing? That's all there was to it?
There's more I could go into it
Go
if you'd
ahead.
like
Go
to.
ahead. Oh, yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay, it says a New Jersey judge will decide whether to count about 1,900 mail ballots from Atlantic County in a congressional primary election after the ballots were unsealed prematurely. On Friday,
Yeah.
Superior Court Judge Michael J. Blee will hear arguments over whether the 1,909 mail ballots cast in both the Democrat and Republican primary elections on Tuesday will be counted after the ballot envelopes were unsealed too early. The outcome of the hearing could affect the 2nd Congressional District's Democrat primary results, where businessman Joe Salerno, I guess how you pronounce that, is currently leading attorney Tim Alexander by about 400 votes in unofficial results. State law permits election officials to open mail ballots 5 days before Election Day, but the 1,909 mail ballots were opened about a month before the Tuesday primary. However, Creed Pogue, a Democrat appointed to the Atlantic County Board of Elections, said that the ballots weren't removed at the time the envelopes were unsealed. Man, this is just a
that's just getting better and better.
Yeah, this is just a friggin' mess in New Jersey right now.
Oh,
but
yeah, everybody's making sense on Wimpkin right now, saying bring back paper ballots. Exactly right.
That's the way it should be, because anything that could be connected to the internet can be hacked. I don't care what it is. And you think about it, people hack stupid shit all the time.
But they proved it, though.
Yeah, but you mean to tell me that nobody would hack the presidential election results in the United States? And you're right, they have proved it.
They proved it with a pen. The guy hacked.
I saw it, yes.
With a pen. That's all it took him to hack the machine. So, yeah. And we've got the proof. They've showed the proof over and over again, but no judge has got the balls to take the case.
Nope.
Because they think something's going to break off so big that nobody can handle it. That's bullshit. We let an election get rigged and let it just drop to the wayside just because of some coward-ass judge won't take the case. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But like I said, this is why the Dems are so freaked out. Because despite all of this with our election process, they know that they're completely screwed. They know we're going to win because they needed help for the steal. I mean, if Trump has the overwhelming support that it appears that he does, there is no way they're going to be able to cheat this away. There is absolutely no way. And they're all going to be held accountable when Trump gets in. That's why they're so freaked out. But I thought that article was interesting, since we're talking about elections right now. We'll have to see how that all plays out. Like I said, it just broke as we were watching the interview, so I didn't get to look into it too much, but we'll hopefully have updates on that.
Oh, most definitely. But we're going to have to save everything else for tomorrow night, or we're going to run out of stuff to talk about. So I did have a couple more things, but I'm going to bring them up tomorrow night with about Hunter Biden and his court hearings right now. It seems to be going not his way. But
you're not going to say bad things about poor Hunter Biden, are you?
Oh, I was thinking about it because I had a couple good videos that I made up.
He's a victim, He's a victim.
Yeah.
I mean that's what the media is telling me. I mean, so I'm assuming that's true.
Oh yeah, but everybody's sitting there, and they're all sitting there talking about, don't be surprised when he gets off of this thing. And
he's going to.
Then somebody interviewed Joe and said, Joe Biden said, well, I'm not going to pardon him if he does get it. And it's because he knows that he's not going to have to. Right.
He's not going to have to.
Yeah, so it's all a joke. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in for both of our shows, listening to the Trump interview with Dr. Phil. I think it turned out pretty well. I'm hoping if you guys go on, if you got to rehear it and you can turn the volume up a little more on that. I don't know why it was so low, but we got to figure it out before the debate. We definitely got to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I can do that, but I'll figure it out before then.
We'll
So
YouTube it. There's got to be a YouTube answer. There's got to
maybe
walk
with
us
the
through
YouTube,
it.
I'm not sure. Maybe we can do it louder than that. We'll see. But it will be on YouTube. But that's
No,
all
I
we
meant
have.
I meant like find a YouTube video trying to figure out how to turn it up.
Oh,
a
yeah,
how-to video.
Yeah, they have all of them. So what the hell? I can do that. But again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the shows. Please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, like, share, everything, whatever it is you're tuning in from. Especially on our Rumble pages. Mine is Country Conservative. Brendan's is the Brendan Statler Show. Help us get our reach out before November 5th so we can win this election, get our country back on track to where it should be. So until tomorrow night, guys, I'm going to leave you with this. As we wrap up this podcast, I want you to imagine this. The year is in 1776. Our founding fathers are gathered in a dimly lit room, quills scratching against parchment. Their vision, a nation built on liberty, self-reliance, and unwavering principles. Fast forward to today, my fellow conservatives, we find ourselves at a crossroads. The winds of change blowing fiercely, but our compass remains true. I implore you to be torchbearers, illuminate the path for generations yet unborn. Let your voices resonate across the airwaves, your convictions etched into the digital archives. Speak truth, even when it's unpopular. Champion liberty, even when it's inconvenient. In the confusing sea of ideologies, we are the lighthouses, steadfast, unloading, and unafraid. So thank you for tuning in. Until tomorrow night, guys, stay resolute, stay informed, and may the flame of conservatism burn bright. This has been the Conservative Viewpoint. I'm Charlie, the Country Conservative, reminding you that liberty is not a spectator sport. It's a call to action. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. God bless.